Hey guys, KJ here, and it's my first interview with an affiliate. And it is my first interview with an affiliate, so I'll make sure that I introduce you to someone really awesome, super affiliate who you can learn a lot of things from. I actually learned things from him, and one thing I can tell you is he has a badass team. And he is the best person to get in touch with if you're looking for building team, or if you want to learn something from him. When he shared how he built his team, I was totally lost. It kind of like blown my mind. So I thought, why don't I interview him? So we have Faisal Zaman with us. Welcome to the video, Faisal, and tell us about yourself, how long you have been in the industry, and how you got started with affiliate marketing.
Hey, thank you, KJ. It's my first ever, interview, so I'm a little bit nervous, but we're gonna get through it because I don't really get on, videos, or I don't get on a live call or nothing like that. So I'm not that comfortable, but I'm up for the challenge.
It's all right. It's all right. I'm not that comfortable as well. So we're kind of at same level. So go on.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
No problem.
So, oh man, so everybody have their own stories, right? Everybody's story somehow, and everybody have their own story. Well, I started way back. I started way back well, I remember selling the first ebook on eBay back in 2001.
Wow, that's
That was
really,
long
really
time.
old. No offense, but that is really old.
Yes, that was the first. And I was selling an ebook that teaches how to get free stuff from China. You send them like a letter saying that you want to, import stuff, and they will actually send you a sample as long as you pay for the shipping. A sample could be $200 worth, and they will ship it to you as long as you pay for the shipping as a sample. So I packaged that in an ebook and how to get stuff for free from China, and I put it up in a
Wow.
CD format
Right.
on eBay, and I started selling it.
Right.
I was making like maybe $30-$40 a day, and that was in the very first week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I started back then. That was my like first test of a little test of making money online. Like, okay, it works. Something is working. So I started from there, and I started, selling on eBay slowly. Then I became several times super seller. Like
Hmm.
at one point I had like 10 different accounts because one account was going down for some whatever reason, and then I had to open one. And funny enough, I was one of the very first affiliate for PayPal when it came out, the very very beginning. I remember being an affiliate and
Wow.
making $10.
I,
Yeah.
even I
So
didn't know they have an affiliate program as well.
they actually had a refer a friend program at back then when they first
Hmm.
came. And back then it was just PayPal. It wasn't even bought by eBay yet. So
Right.
eBay came in and eBay bought PayPal because of the payment processor. So it made the whole eBay much more efficient.
Hmm.
So I so they had like a $10. If you refer a friend, you get $10. So I had
Right.
my brother sign up on account, and he referred me, and then I signed up. I kind of got $10. So I kind of remember that was my first thing. Okay, you could refer somebody and make some money. Okay, but after
Right.
that, I was just trying to make some money selling things on eBay basically, and I did that from 2001 up until 2006. And that was also, I had part-time job at that time, and I was going to school, and I was doing eBay on the side as well. So from there, I moved. I had a lot of problems, shipping. I had, you have hundreds of questions, customer support, bringing in the product from Taiwan and storing them. I had like a whole house full of like handbags I was selling for women's handbag on
Wow.
eBay. So, man, yeah. So from there, I got a job for a telecommunication company, and I took their product to Amazon, and we became a super seller on Amazon as well, several times. And I did that, and then I hired my brother into it, and then
Right.
we scale that company to, several multi-million dollars. But we are working there. And as I'm working there, I started working on my own business as well. Because what I did as I'm running that business within another office, I hired my brother and taught him how to do my job so I could focus on my business, building my business.
So you kind
So
of started building your team right
yeah,
there.
yes, right there, And I started, and then from there, I started to, there's like so many things that you have to juggle with. And I'm like, okay, I have to do customer support, I have to import, I have to do inventory, I have to ship, I have to, deal with return. All this is just too much. What is out there where I could make money? All these things just on the side. I don't want to deal with all this. It's just too much.
Right.
I wanna have something that I could scale up and I could work from anywhere, and I don't have to worry about any customer support. I have to deal with people. What is the best and the easiest way to make a lot of money? That's what I was looking for. So
Right.
looking, I came across this. That was back in 2010. I came across this micro niche site training, and I
Hmm.
bought it right there. I forgot who it was, but I bought it and I implemented it right away. And I knew it was gonna work. So what I did is I went to a forum, I'm sorry, a Facebook group back then in 2010,
Hmm.
and I pulled a webinar there. It was an internet marketing group. It has like 2,200 people in it.
Right.
It was a big community, but it wasn't like a mainstream United States community, or it was like
Hmm.
a small group of people from Bangladesh that
Right.
I was dealing. So what I did at first is that I took the idea and I held a webinar. I signed up for GoToWebinar. I invited all the people like, hey, I have an idea I want to share with you. Who's gonna ride with me? So I shared like, hey, listen, we could build up a team and we could start, launching websites, and this we could promote these small offers from Amazon or CPA offers, and we could start making money. So it was like first it was like 80 people join, and I had this webinar for like 3 hours. At the end, there was like three people left. Everybody, three people on the webinar, everybody left. It was so boring,
Right.
But the three people left on the webinar, out of the three, there was two that was like, I got this idea and I want to ride with you. I'm
Hmm.
like, sure. I can't pay you, If you're gonna be on, you're gonna be on full on, and I can't pay you until we make money. And they both of them were like, oh, out of two, one really believed in me, the other one was a little shaky. So one literally the next day, him and I bought the course, and him and we started going through the whole course together. I bought it before, but at that time they had an upsell, so I bought the upsell and I went with him, and then we started building out sites, a little small micro niche sites. So
Right.
just one product that we
Hmm.
knew we were selling, because we did some keyword research and we figured out very weird niche. By the way, I don't want to reveal the niche. Very weird niche. I mean, if I tell you, you're gonna blow your mind. But I'm not gonna get into that. It's kind of an adult site, so I'm not gonna get
Right.
into that. But it's a physical product that people actually buy, and it pays about $40 commission every time somebody buys. So I had this. I bought this domain, and we started like, we started doing SEO to that site. Ranking for that one keyword plus review.
Right.
Keyword review. So people, before they buy, they see ads all over. Right before they buy, they go on Google. We create videos. We have like a review style product. A product page. That talks about all this product. Boom, we started getting sales. But that was 2013. So we started in 2010 till 2013. We kept trying different offers, and that one offer stuck after 3 years of. Think about that. 3 years, we didn't make any money. In 3 years, we probably launched about at least 20 different products, 20 different websites, all micro niche sites.
Right.
Most of them didn't even get ranked. But then once we started getting sales on that one site, we were like, okay, now something is working. Then we went on and we started looking into CPA networks.
Hmm.
I took all kind of training that came in. Like I bought everything literally. I bought a new course every day. I would go through half, I'd dump it, I would start something else. And that went on for like years.
Wow. Wow.
Just like everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
So once something started working, I'm like, so how do we scale this? Because ACO takes a long time and it takes a lot of work. You
Yeah.
have to get the article, you have to make sure the on page is done, off page is done, link building, you have to make sure your site is loading fast. You know, at one time I had over 500 websites literally because I had about 30 different virtual assistants working full time.
Wow.
So
Wow.
what I went from there, how do I scale, is that him and the other person knew how to do the work. So what we did, we hired brand new virtual assistant that had no idea what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
brand new, fresh out of high school. And we started teaching as if like, okay, how do we get this little job done? Like one task that I would do every day, how can I teach this other person that could do this job so I don't have to do that, basically, so I could
Right.
free myself. So I started researching on that and I found this product called Replace Myself. It was
Mm-hmm.
like $1,000 product, info product. And I bought into it. And that was literally, that was just the point that I had to break through. I started hiring, one virtual assistant, then teaching, and then that one virtual assistant would teach the next one, and then two of them would teach the other two. So I really had to teach one first, and then
Right.
from there we started doing. So that's kind of how I got started. It's a long and boring story, but
Yeah.
hey, everybody got a story how they started.
So what was your first paid traffic network, or how you got started with paid traffic?
Okay, so from 2010, I started in CPA. So
Mm-hmm.
2013, I get my first sale. Then 2000, between 2013 and 14, I got into CPA marketing.
Right.
I went into, ClickBook and EWA. Do you remember
Yeah. Yeah.
EWA?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Bubble offer, convert to media. Well, many network. I at one point I was into maybe 30 different networks, literally like every
Yeah.
one of the work I was in. So the paid traffic. So from there, from 2013 to 2016 almost, all we did is just SEO,
Right. Right.
and we're doing very well because at that time everybody was doing like black hat and the neutral was going crazy.
Yeah.
Everybody was coming and looking for a review for the product,
Yeah.
and we only had like a few competitors. We didn't really have a lot of competitors. So we pretty much got the market share, the
Yeah.
majority of the market share for the neutral offer, basically.
Yeah.
So they would push this offer, and right before people buy, they would go and look for reviews, and that's where we pop up. So we would have like our authority site and we would have micro niche sites, and
Mm-hmm.
we attack them from both ends, and we would have like 20 different websites. As soon as one product start to convert, we'll take that and launch in 20 different websites with 20 unique articles that written by actual real people. Think about that, all
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he was making money. So we're like, okay, we're spending 100, you can make 10 times more. How much 100 I could spend? That's the question, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so from there, the paid traffic, I really didn't start, to be honest, until I believe it was 2016. Well,
Wow.
let me tell you, I started with proper ad, to be honest.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I started because how I started, brands, as I was looking into proper
Uh-huh.
ad, learning in the very beginning, brands just started as well with proper ad.
Right. Right.
Somehow he found me. Somehow he called me on Skype and we got on a call. And he just started his job, and me too. I'm like starting. I'm like, let's go, dude. What can we do? He's like, hey, let me hook you up with this and this. Hey, and I'm like, you know what? We're gonna make it because I know I had a team. I had my team all they're ready to go. So I had my team. I'm like, okay, I just got to teach my team the new source. So we started like going deep with proper ads. Basically, I
Right.
started with paid traffic. Before that, we would just SEO. That was a very good life, to be honest. The SEO life was the best life because I didn't have to do nothing, literally, like almost nothing. Only the
Yeah.
first 2 years. First 2, 3 years I had to work,
Yeah.
but after that, we were just basically checking stats. And there's not much I could do. Just look at it. That's it. Because
Yeah.
organic traffic, you can do much.
Yeah, organic traffic back in days, it was really easy. I think in 2013, till 2013, I kept doing that as well. And I used to have some VAs doing stuff for me as well. But
Awesome,
okay, let's come to, today. So what kind of offers are you promoting right now?
man.
I know it's
Right
super
now,
new, it's sorry for continuing, but it's super newbie question. And, everyone comes up like, okay, what do you promote? So, yeah, let us know, what's making you most money?
honestly, when you know your game, the offer is pretty much just doesn't matter. The number doesn't really matter. If you know your game, then any offer is going to work as long as the offer converts. You know how to make it work. Then it really doesn't matter what offer. No matter what you're going to touch, you're going to make it work.
Yeah, as they say, like, if you can sell, if you know how to sell, it will sell anyway.
Exactly. That's the thing. If you know the process, then pretty much you can. That's the whole beauty of this CPA business. What we do in the performance marketing, that's the beauty of it, that you could change to anything at anytime you want.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so liquid. You don't have to worry about, you don't, if something is not working, boom, change it to the next. To answer your question right now, it changes all the time, but right now we're dating, mainly dating.
Right, right. And one thing I know is when you go for a geo, you take over everything. You just don't go for one part, one piece of pie or anything. You just want everything. So, what traffic sources are you using right now? If you don't mind sharing with us.
I have no problem sharing right now for dating. Okay, pretty much tried all the push network. Pretty much, not every single one of them,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part, I tried pretty much everything. But I started. I think popular ad is pretty much number one always. Um, Advertisers started getting very good results, like pretty much very good results for me at least,
Mm-hmm.
because maybe because I bring in what's converting from one network first, so that doesn't really work in the beginning. But if it works, then I take it to advertising. Maybe because of that,
Yeah.
I get a very good result from advertiser. But at the same time, when I take it to other traffic source, well, Zero Park, but it's a bit tricky. You have
Yeah.
to spend your money very quickly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
'cause you can't really, like manage the spend.
Yeah.
Like
If you are
everything you
feeling
have.
cheeky, you can easily lose it. Yeah.
So yeah, proper ad, we're doing advertiser, we're doing rich push, doing what else we're doing, ad right. What else we're doing? We're looking into rave content just yesterday. Okay, what else? Oh, we're doing MGIT, doing AskKeeper, but right now we just paused on AskKeeper for a minute. It's just so many things we can focus on in
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
So what I started realizing, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest, is it's not a good idea to focus on too many things.
Yeah.
So if I am giving like a one media buyer, one of my media buyer, I would ask him to just focus on one. If
Right.
when I'm working, I try to just focus on one. That's it.
Right.
Like if
Right.
I'm working, I'll focus on one. But if I honestly I get bored, I would get bored with one platform, and it's itches to go and launch in a different one just because the different views, the different
Yeah.
stimulate the brain. So I break my own rules. I sometimes I go from one network to the other network, but it's better if you can focus and master one network. You already know that.
You know what's funny thing? I see so many habits which are common between me and you. We have always this, itch to try new things, always, try to find out new things, and the way we are crazy about what we do. Uh,
Man,
so
I,
yeah,
yeah, I gotta tell you this to be honest. Like, and I don't just say things to say things. My family knows that. I don't say things just to make them happy.
yeah,
I say things because it's real. And I'll tell you this, bro. I haven't I haven't met my match. Like I haven't met somebody
yeah,
who I feel like, I have a competition with. In terms of, okay, we gotta get this done. we got to go through this.
Yeah.
But when it comes to you, I kind of feel like, okay, I do have a competition.
Oh
Honestly,
wow. Wow,
I
that's
feel
an
like, you
honor,
know what?
man.
I, I have a competition. Somebody's outworking me. Somebody is just literally outworking, and I can see that. You know that I can see that.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. That's a compliment.
That thing. So it
Yeah.
does kind of put me in a position like, hey, get your game right because somebody is gonna outrun you. So
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning every day,
Yeah.
and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I'm loving
Perfect. So we have given everyone your, top traffic sources now.
it.
And so let's move on to the main topic, which is about team building. So to start with, how many team members have you got? And, what are their roles?
I'm sorry. Say that again. I didn't
How
catch
many team members have you got and what roles do you give them? Like normally, when I talk to different affiliates, they have just, related to coders and maybe copywriters and stuff like that. So how is your organization and how do you guys work and how many members you got?
Okay. So um, when I had the ACO days, I had at some point I had like 30 different virtual assistants. Um, but then we started cutting off, and I started focusing on the one that not just working for the money, but that they're there because they enjoy what they're doing. I was looking for what they're like. When the time is over, they're still working, and I can see that they're working, and I
Right.
know that they're doing it. They're coming back in a weekend. They're telling me like, tell me this, teach me this. I know I'm noticing this. So I started keeping those people and I started letting other people go because the ACO literally just crashed in overnight, literally when
Hmm.
the mids for the credit card went down, when everybody getting hit with the mids, they can't have the rebills issue,
Right.
that already. So once that started happening, people stopped doing trials basically. So there's no trials, people not going looking for reviews, and our side not making money.
Yeah.
So we're going from making money to nothing
Yeah.
overnight. So I started thinking like, okay, so what do I do? So I kept in touch with my few ones, and in between, as there was a transition where we are going from the SEO, we're cutting everything off, and we started focusing on paid traffic. But within that, there was like a gap of 6 months. I still kept paying them their
Hmm.
salaries, a tough few. I kept paying them so they could keep learning the direction that I'm going because I know they're the asset.
Right.
So
Right.
I kept paying them, even though they aren't working. I kept paying them just for them to learn. I bought them some courses. Go ahead and learn this. Go on Google, search, research, and know the terms. So they started reading blogs, and stuff like this. I kept paying them. So right now I have 6 virtual assistants, and
Hmm.
myself, and my brother. My brother works on his own. He pretty
Right.
much built him. He pretty much know everything inside out. He doesn't need a virtual assistant. He doesn't
Right.
even like to deal with people. So he knows pretty much everything that needs to be done. He's
Yeah.
solo of it, and
Yeah.
he's doing pretty good for himself. So he
Yeah.
doesn't like to deal with people a lot.
Yeah, I
Just
was just to mention, I was looking at your Facebook post where you shared recently where where you posted you want to you're going to train your brother, and
yeah,
how many years it took? I think 1 year or so.
for my brother. Okay, digital marketer,
Hmm.
Blind Eyes.
Yeah.
um, uh, they have this traffic and conversion summit every year. So
Right.
what I did in the very beginning when they're coming up, they had this program for Google media buyers or something like that. So I bought that certification from my brother. I
Right.
paid out. I got him. I got him certified. So he went through the whole training. He got his badge. Certificate. Blah blah blah. All those is just show off. But other than that, he did learn certain things, the fundamental, right?
Right.
And I bought few courses, but basically, honestly, the best way to learn is, yeah, go and learn from somebody who's doing it. But most of the time, whatever I was doing, I was so new to it that I couldn't go to other people to teach me. Like
Right.
right now, I don't know who am I gonna go to teach me push traffic, honestly, other than maybe, you know, I don't know who am I gonna go and say, hey, can you teach me? Because the only way you're gonna really learn the right way and the real way is just by doing.
Mm-hmm.
So back then, I didn't have that idea. I didn't have any idea. So I started buying, I started buying courses. So we went through, the whole idea. I was deep into it all day, every day for years, and I still am obsessed with this. Literally, I'm up, I'm driving every day, I'm thinking, all I'm thinking, I'm eating, I'm walking, because I know it's gonna pay off. It's gonna
Right.
give me freedom that I need. I don't have to work for the rest of my life. And it's just, I feel free, man. It's
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
How can someone pay me any money to work for, work for me?
Definitely.
Man, it's just me. I can't do it. So, yeah, right now I just got like six. That's it. And me and my brother, that's basically it.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Um,
Now let's talk about, average affiliate. Um, like, what is the objective to build a team? Like, normally when we talk about, uh, you know, if you talk to a newbie, they'll say like, to save your time. But if you think about that, you're still spending your whole day on working. So what's the real objective of building your team?
okay, so um, the first, what you want to do is think how big you want to take your business. What is your goal? If you have a goal, just like my brother, and I'm not saying you, but I'm saying if somebody has a goal like my brother who likes to work by himself
Hmm.
and he's happy with whatever he could scale on his own and he is living a happy life. He doesn't have to talk to anybody. He doesn't have to talk to anybody. And he works like, several hours a week. The rest of the time he's a pro gamer, just playing video games, online, and that's basically it. That's what he does. He buy medias and he play video games.
Right.
So he got a good life, I can't, so that's him, so for me, if it so for him, it doesn't really matter, right? So you have to know where you want to take your vision, your company first. You need to know that where you want to take it. For me, I have a vision to hire 100 in-house media buyers, 100 in-house who I can talk to, be there in the office live, but they come in and then I teach them, all 100 of them, because I know that there is enough offers. I know there's enough traffic. I
Hmm.
know there isn't enough media buyers.
Right.
So what I want to do is build 100 media buyers in-house as a team, because I know the offers out there. So, one way or another, we're gonna make it work. If I could educate them, then, and wherever I see that they're messing up and I could fix them and I could teach other people how to do the same, then guess what? It's not that hard to deal with 100 in-house media. And I would enjoy it, man. Imagine that in the office, you got all different kind of cool stuff, and you're making shit tons of money, man. You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
would be like that thing, So,
Yeah.
and making tons of money, right?
Right.
And then you can give back. Like if your cup is not full, you can pour it for others. So
Yeah.
first you gotta fatten your pocket, right? First you gotta pay yourself, then you can take care of others. So yeah, man, that's so for me, the goal is to kind of do that. And that might take 1 year, that might take 10 years, that might never happen. But
Right.
that's the goal I have, and I'm not stopping. I'm not gonna even stop once I get there, but that's like my milestone. That's where I want to reach my next goal, basically. So if I'm working for that, if that's my goal, then I need to figure out how am I gonna manage 100 virtual assistants or 100 in-house media buyers. So I gotta start teaching one by one by one, right? Think about that. So what I started doing, man, first I think about what are the processes, right? That
Hmm.
I have to take. What are the processes? Then I kind of separate what I enjoy and what I don't. I keep it simple. Okay, I like this. I don't like. I like coming up with angle. I like the creative work. I like thinking. I like to do the research. I like coming up with the angle, then implement and see the result and tweak it and kind of play with people's emotion. I love that techniques, to
Yeah.
see how I could implement my skills. In return, I enjoyed the reaction I get. Money is just a byproduct.
It's same with me, you know. I just love to test new things, test people's behaviors, and like mess with things and see how they work.
Exactly, because once you master it, the money is just a byproduct. It's just gonna
Yeah,
come whether you like it or not.
yeah,
It's gonna come if you enjoy what you're doing and you master your craft, and you're mastering something that 99% of the people is just can't do it. You
yeah,
have a very, very, very special skill, my friend. And
yeah,
that's that skill. When I sell it to my VA, that look, if I'm gonna be working with you, you have to treat it like $1,000 an hour education. If I'm gonna be spending an hour with you teaching you, it's gonna cost you $1,000.
yeah,
That's the mindset that they gotta have. Otherwise, they're not gonna pay attention, right? They gotta understand that your time is extremely valuable. So the first thing is you gotta figure out, you gotta know your business first. Then figure out what you like, what you don't like. Then look at your weakness and the strength. Focus on the strength. Outsource the weaknesses. So whatever the weaknesses that I have, I hate doing. Yeah, can I tell you a truth? Here's
go
the
on, feel free.
I don't even know how to make a tracking link.
Wow, wow. That's strange. I mean, you're an affiliate, man.
I swear, I do not. If you tell me, Faisal, go and make me this link, hook it up with volume or in tracker. I had no clue. I have to go figure it out. Not saying that I can figure it out. I can figure
Yeah,
it out in an hour. It's just that you see, there's no creativity there. So it's not cup of tea for me. So I get that done. You know,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
thinking about the offer. I'm thinking about the angle. I'm thinking about finding the more profitable offer, the
Right.
next level. I don't have the time to build. So you gotta figure out what are the things that a robot can do, and you you must do certain things, right? So you have to separate that. Once you separate that, then you start with teaching one thing at a time to that virtual assistant. So for
Hmm.
example, if you hire a virtual assistant, your first task might be just teach them how to build volume link or a tracking link.
Right,
That's it. So
right,
now for like $300 a month, you had somebody you never have to worry about making a volume link again. You teach
right,
them, you into a whole, you make a video, you show them, you put it into step by step, you ask them, they do it, they have question, great. You answer them, now you have a foolproof plan. Anybody else can then follow. The next VA you hire, they can just follow that. So
right,
now that you have that, you get that done. That one VA can take that one part of your business. Okay, volume done. What is the next thing? I hate doing it. I hate dealing with landing pages. I hate doing that. There's no creativity in it.
yeah,
It's just time consuming. So then I would give them the training, which I know I could get it from anywhere. Give them the training. I know how to do it. Like I would go in and I put that in my mind and I would try it a few times to know how to do it and do it myself many times
hmm,
to master it before I outsource it. Because as soon as you outsource it, they're gonna have questions. If you don't know, you can answer them, then you fucked basically. So you
right,
gotta know your own thing, right? Now, that being said, so let's say you do that, then you figure out, okay, so you're gonna need your landing page. So you create a video or create a whatever a statement that, hey, this is how step-by-step guide, this is how you do it.
hmm,
Now your landing page is done, your tracking is done. Now maybe you can teach that VA how to just turn on and off a campaign.
right,
Losing then $5, boom, pause
right.
it. If
Auto
not,
optimizer.
exactly, like have them just do that one thing, right? So
Right,
now three things off your table. That means you just freed up times for three things that now you can focus on maybe a new three offers or maybe one
right,
offer, but now you have more time to focus on growth. Not you're not thinking about just doing the same thing, and then slowly that VA is going to the optimization. You could get on a call and teach them a little bit of little part of the optimization every day, and
right.
then have them do that repeatedly every day. Like I would
Right.
have somebody do the same thing like 1,000 times. Literally, I would
Wow.
have,
Wow.
I would say like, okay, next next 3 days, you're going to be writing ad copy. You're going to go on Google. You're gonna go on
Hmm.
Spy Tools, and this is the offer. You're gonna start writing ad copy within this characteristic that you have. This is how many is allowed. Within that, you're gonna write as many as ad copy as you can. So guess what? Now they're on my salary, right? So they get paid.
Right.
So now they're going. This is what they're doing on a day-to-day basis for next 3 days. Guess what? By the end of 3 days, they just become master at it.
Yeah. Perfect. Perfect.
So then what you do, now they started to see, okay, I see what's working. Then you help them, you pick, you share your screen, and you pick the ones that you want out of what he picked. So they could start reading your mind. Like, the way you could really free yourself, you could have somebody else learn how you think, literally.
Right.
Because I have
Right.
people, before I tell them this is need to be done, they already started. They know what's
Wow.
coming. Like
Wow.
if you see that if something is working and I have a feeling, if I just say, hey, look at this, it's working.
Yeah.
They already know what the deal is.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect.
So
Perfect.
that's like you have to hire one VA first,
Uh-huh.
one, then teach that VA, and you have to really make sure that you have the right person. I could go on hiring the right person because I really did close to like 100 people.
Right.
So really, I have a feeling already who is going to work long term, and I have really dirty tricks, bro. I could show you some tricks that you could use to hire VAs that you know that they're gonna stick, basically. So you're basically taking off 80% of the probability that they're not gonna stick because you're giving so much work up front. Whoever really, really want the job is gonna go through that. I ask them 64 dumb questions before I even talk. So
Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's move on to next question because I can see the questions I'm going to ask. You're almost covering them. So let's move step by step. So yeah. Okay. So the next question is, like when to build a team. Like, when there are, I don't know how to answer that kind of questions or how you categorize it because normally what happens is people don't know at what stage they should start hiring. There are going to be those who are just starting off with affiliate marketing, and there are those who are making certain amount of money. So when you think is the best time to hire people?
that is extremely valuable question, by the way. That is a very, very, very important question. When do you hire? Well, it depends, it depends on, you see, it depends on your goal, first of all, and then like
Hmm.
where are you trying to go and your bankroll. If you could hire somebody now who is going to take you to your goal faster, then you should hire right now.
Right.
Now, if you're very new, you're just starting and learning an industry, then learn it first to a point that you get bored doing the same thing.
Hmm.
Once you get bored doing the same thing and you don't want to do that anymore because you mastered it by doing it repeatedly, hire at that point and you're making money. Make sure you're making money.
Right.
At that point, at that immediately hire one and pay them good. Make sure before you hire them, like really have to go through a long process for hiring them. What I like to do is I split test BA, literally. I would
Hmm.
hire like 12 of them. I would give them one test. Whoever's gonna do the best, I would
Right.
hire them and I'll pay the other three for 1 month. I don't care. Like
Right.
I rather pay for three BA for 1 month salary to find one good one than
Hmm.
hire somebody, spend my time and my energy, and find out after 6 months it's not a good fit. It's a
Right.
loss.
Right.
So you have to make sure before you start investing your time, because your time is the most valuable thing you have. Time, you could just launch a campaign and get that money back in an hour. The whole VA making the whole month. You
Right.
could make that in an hour, right? So why not test four VAs and give them the exact work and give them a vague work and
Hmm.
see how they do it. Don't give them a step by step. Tell them, do a research on something and come back to you. Whoever is going to actually, and give them like a direction, like, okay, go deep into it. I need to know this, but go ahead and do this research for me and come back.
Hmm.
Whoever's going to go deep in detail, pay attention to detail, and everything, you're gonna want to work with them. It's gonna show because
Right.
if before I hire, they have to go through like a questionnaire before we can even send them an application for hiring. They go through like a question, 64 dumb questions, like explain how would you explain color to a color by-born colorblind person? Explain
Right.
that. I mean, a dumb question like that, how would you explain? And the reason is they're gonna actually take their time and try to explain. That tells me that they're every time they're gonna face an issue, that they're gonna try to figure out. What I'm looking for is them to figure it out. I'm not looking
Mm-hmm.
for to tell them what the hell to do all the time.
Yeah.
I want them to tell me where they're stuck at. So
Yeah.
I'm giving them some tasks. They can come back and see whoever coming back with the good questions, good result. Those are the people that you want to work with. So you have to be a little bit careful when you're hiring them. But when you find a good person, make relations, marry them, because they're
Right.
gonna be an asset. Teach them everything that you know, one day at a time, and 1 month. Believe me, if you teach them a little thing, within 1 month, that VA is gonna know 10 things already that you can save time every day, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
that VA, then you can hire another VA, literally, and you could have this VA teach that other VA everything. You don't have
Right.
to do nothing at that point. So now you could teach your VA, your main VA, like, hey, you know how to do the tracking. You have a guide on it.
Mm-hmm.
You already know. You go and teach the second VA, so you don't have to do it anymore.
Right.
You can get it done from that VA. So you teach that VA, and I'll teach you something new that I don't like doing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I see where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of a way to go about that, basically.
Okay. Perfect. So now let's come to hiring. What is the best way to hire people and where from?
Okay. So the best, in my opinion, hands down, Filipinos. They're the
Mm-hmm.
best. You could just Google and you could find tons of information. I hired my first VA 2012, the
Right.
first 2012. So I have two VA from then up until today. They're working from the day one. They came fresh out of high school. They joined with me, and they're still working with me. So you need to have that connection. You need to have that bond. You
Right.
can't. Your business doesn't make money for 2 months. You can't let them go. You
Yeah.
have to take care of them. You have to give them commissions as they build their skills, and you have to pay them
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
and you have to give them commission. You have to make them feel like they're part of it, and
Yeah.
then have, have them grow their own team. You see, my job is not to teach another VA. My job is to create leader who can
Mm-hmm.
teach other VA. So I'm
Right.
working on building leader who can then grow their team. So I have like
Mm-hmm.
two people right now in my team who are basically kind of a leader. They have
Mm-hmm.
two people underneath them. So they have one person is optimizing, another person is basically just making links and monitoring, and the main person is basically doing the creative work, like I would do on my campaign. So we have like three different teams here. So I have my brother, I have me with my one new and one old VA, because I want
Right.
to teach the new one, and I wanna have connection with the new one, and then I have the old one because the old one already know what the hell to do, so I don't have to deal
Right.
with anything.
Yeah.
So I have that, and I have another one where you already know Kat. So
Right.
she has her own team. I build a team for her.
Mm-hmm.
She has herself, and she got the three other VA
Right.
under her. So
Right.
I don't even have to talk to her anymore.
Yeah.
She's on her own. She's independent now. I don't even have to deal with her anymore at all.
Right. Wow.
I just deal
Wow.
with myself and one VA, old and one new. So that's basically my small setup here. Yeah.
Okay. So now let's talk about, training. How long you train them and how much do you pay them?
Okay.
Like now what I'm trying to understand here is, let's say I hire a VA tomorrow. Now, for how long I have to train them? When can I expect them to, maybe produce some sort of results for me or start working for me? in positive way, and then how much to pay them, because that's really important question as well, I think.
It's very, very, very important questions. When you're hiring them in the very beginning, and they have no idea, only hire them based on salary. Do not even mention anything about commission or anything like that. It's because it's just going to make things complicated for them. They're not going
Right.
to even understand what you talk. So just keep them in the salary. And I'm going to keep you honest with you. I hire people with $200 per month.
Right.
I don't even pay them more. You know why? Because I am not looking for people with experience. I do not want to work on unlearning them or
Mm-hmm.
having them to unlearn things. I don't want them to come up with their own or other education that they have, formal education from other countries. I want them brand new so I could build them.
Yeah,
So I hire,
experienced ones come with attitude, so that
yeah,
is a big issue. Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, and on the other hand, you see, when you hire them and when you build them up, they become your asset. They really become your asset. So they have access to everything except bank account, but they have access to everything, literally. And if I have to I even give them credit cards, like
Right.
use this. But I put a limit on it, obviously.
Hmm.
I give them a credit card, like you need to, top up, go ahead, use that. So I don't have to, you see, the best thing is first figure out that what are the things that you don't like doing,
Hmm.
somebody else can do, and hire someone immediately and start teaching one thing that you could take off your plate.
Right.
Focus just on that, just one thing, and have that person, outside of mastering that one thing in a day, the rest of the day, have them getting educated of whatever it is that you want them in the future to help you with. So, for example, in the first stage when you hire them, you could just have them learn tracking. That's it.
Right.
Nothing else. That's it.
Right.
So once they master how to do that, then you don't have to do it anymore. So that one thing off your table. So now come up with several things, maybe 8 things that takes 1 hour that you can have off your table, off your plate. You could have it, give it to your VA. So you have to know what are the things that you don't like doing and other person can do it. So for example, I can't tell my VA to come up with fine promising offer.
Hmm.
They don't have that skill to come up with dealing
Right.
with affiliate managers and looking into all the stats and intel and watch over the industries of what is going on, looking in the forum, looking in all hundreds of
Hmm.
groups and figuring things out. You know what I mean? You know how it goes. So they don't have that skill. So I can't tell them that. So we have to know our position. I want them to do the things, one, I'm bad at, two, I hate doing, and three, they do better than me. Everything they
Right.
do better than me. Literally, they do everything better than me. Everything that they do is better than me, except certain things that I enjoy doing, I master.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
master. I knew how it works. You know, building relationship with affiliate managers, dealing with them, researching offer, actually coming up with new angles, looking at the industry, see what might convert, where is the
Hmm.
money, where everybody is spending their money, which traffic source might have, the best chance for this. I'm working on that. I
Right.
love that. So I'm mastering those. I don't want to do, I don't want to even optimize. I have
Yeah.
now a process that literally I am building this human optimizer.
Yeah, that's my next question. Like, the most fascinating thing about you is you're building media buyers. Like, I have seen, affiliates, and I've personally use, like, for making landing pages, do some research maybe for me, or things like that, copywriting and all that. What you are doing is totally different, which is media buying, like running ads and doing that. How do you first of all train them? And another thing is, like, when they start out, how do you make sure that they don't bleed your money? I mean, of course we have to, as an affiliate, we have a certain limit. We can't afford to lose too much money on ads and everything without making any profit. So how do you ensure that that happens. And then I'll add one more question, because you kind of explain everything at once. So yeah, another question is, uh, your teams are competing against each other. How do you manage to do that? I mean, that is something really cool. Like, your VAs are competing against each other. And
That's that's a very fun. That's a very good one. I wasn't thinking about that, but yeah. So I'm gonna start with the last ones. How do I go about competing? So guess what? If it's not a competition, I get bored. I need competition. If it's not a competition, I create competition between my team. I
Mhm.
create competition between me and my brother because I want to win every time. I'm very competitive, bro. If I can't win, I don't go to sleep sometimes. Some days, like, until I get this shit done, I'm not going to sleep. So I'm very competitive. So if I see, like, that's where you kind of sometimes piss me off too, because when I see your number, I'm like, "Ugh."
Right.
So someday I'm like, "Ugh." Because it's not the money, it's it's just a rush. I need
Yeah.
more number going on.
How
You
can I
know?
figure this out? And the funny thing, I think last week one of my VAs told me he worked for me for a week, and then he goes, "You know what, sir? I'm bored. I don't think so. I can do this anymore." And I had to, cut him off.
So check this out. How many days was this after?
7 days. He just worked for
7 days,
seven
right?
days. Yeah.
So guess what? This is what I would do, right? So when I'm hiring them, I know that one day when I pick the right talent, one day they're gonna become an asset. So
Right.
I'm investing my money upfront because I know if I do it, I will find somebody. If I test 4 people, I'll find one that's promising. So I'll take 4, I would hire all 4, I'll give them $200 a month. So I'm betting $800.
Right.
And I'm hiring data entry position. Literally, my job is this: data entry position, minimum $200 flat, first come, first serve. As simple as that. So once they come in, then I have them go through the funnel.
Right.
64 questions. I haven't hired for a long time now, maybe a couple of years. No, actually, I hired a few months, a couple of months ago, but it was hired by my other VA. I didn't hire them. It was
Right.
hired by my other main VA. So that's what I forgot, that we had new VA, but I didn't hire them. I had my team hire them. But nonetheless, so what I was saying, sorry, I know the chain of thoughts. What
Right. It
was the
was
punchline?
about competing. VAs
Oh, yeah,
competing
yeah.
against.
So how do we compete? So one thing I started to realize that when we are competing
Oops.
too much in a bidding war, then we both losing money.
Mm-hmm.
You have to keep that in mind. When you're competing, you will lose money. Now,
Yeah.
I didn't learn that early on because early on, when the offers were fresh, everybody's making money.
Yeah.
Even the bad zones placement is making money. Bad ads is making because it's brand new. So it's fresh. Everybody's, but as they start to burn out, you have to start thinking like, okay, so what is going on? So when you compete, you will lose money. So try not to compete with each other. But at the same time, I do create to see, understand the algorithm of the traffic source. How, if two-person is running, so I could understand the competitor. If I can beat my brother, right? Or my brother could beat me, then we are learning the algorithm of how to beat the competition. So it's
Right.
a great way to master how their algorithm working, so you can use that trick to basically beat any other affiliate as long as you can learn. Because we're testing many things and we're learning things you wouldn't believe. I couldn't believe myself that certain things that I'm learning, like, wow, like I didn't pay attention that one zone ID could eat like $1,600 before it even came to our attention.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, man. So the competition, I use it as a learning tool, basically. and fun tool to go against each other. And then if I can beat somebody, then I learn one way. Then I can figure out, okay, so it worked. Then I can
Right.
use the same technique against somebody else or my all other competitors. So that's basically a learning tool. So it's kind of double-edged sword, because if you do it too much, you're gonna lose money. Because if I go against and say I bid too much, we both losing money. Yes, we're getting hundreds of conversion, but at the end of the day, it's going negative. Both. So what's the point? We're spending $1,000, we losing $1,000, both of us. So what's the point, right? So, but in the process, you can learn something that you could take away, then don't compete anymore, but then use that skill against other. What
Right.
about that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Perfect. Perfect. Yeah.
I got dirty tricks, man. I can't help it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, don't your VAs get burned out? I mean, especially with affiliate marketing, like let's say if you stick with one niche, you get burned out. How do you deal with that? And another thing is, one of the problems or questions I regularly face is like, how do we make sure that our VAs stick with us? How, like you train them sometimes and they start their own thing. So how do you counter that?
um, I don't fear anybody, and I give them everything they want to know. And I think you're the life proof. I literally could give them it, because guess what? I know what it is gonna take, and 1 out of 10 people might not even make it happen. And you're very special. Like literally, not even 1 out of 10. One out of 50 people can't even make it happen. So even you give them everything, they still cannot do it. They just, if they mess up one little thing and they don't know how to fix it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
dude, how they gonna go to get the caps? How they gonna know the angle? How they gonna know how to optimize? How they gonna actually build that relationship? How they gonna keep running it? How they gonna spend money to buy all the tools, the traffic?
Right.
Where the money gonna come from for them to invest in? You teach them flawlessly everything. The people who are gonna stick with you, they're gonna stick with you regardless. And the people who are gonna leave, they never meant to be with you anyway. So I don't care. I just, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I put the bet on my money. $800, hire 4 people, give them one task, very complicated random task, and then see what they do. Whoever come up with the best result, then I start to hire them, and then I start investing my time to teach them. And the way I teach them, like I said, you teach them one thing, and then you don't do that anymore. It's off
Mhm.
your table. You don't do that. That VA could sit there for 8 hours. Whenever you need to make that job done, you just tell that VA. Rest
Right.
of the time, the VA can self-learn different skills which you're going to be using in the future. And you could line them up like, watch this video, the fundamental of media buying. Watch this, or you could go to digital market. They have training on media buyers as well. You buy that, you could give them. They could go through the whole and talk to them, so you're not spending money and time up front like you did. Like, okay, 5 days you spend teaching somebody. You don't want to do that, because they didn't show you that they're going to stick for a whole month. They didn't even show you. So why would you even spend money or time up front? I mean, give them a task, pay them as if we are testing, like, we don't know if the traffic is going to convert, but we take a chance, right? We buy
Hmm.
them, and we're sending them, and we are hoping that it's going to convert. And if it does, then we try to scale it, because we know something is going to work along the line. You just got to find out which one is going to work. So the same thing over here as well. They are VA, they are very, very loyal.
Right.
They
Right.
will work with you for $200 a month, $300 a month, as long, but make sure that you give them enough money so they never have to go look for a side job. You don't want to do that. You want
Right.
to pay them. You ask them, because this is what I asked them. Out of the 64 question I have, I asked them, like, what are your expenses, monthly expenses? Write them
Hmm.
down, everything upfront. So they
Right.
write down your monthly expenses. Okay, how much you pay for your internet? How much pay for your rent? How many kids do you have? What are entertainment? Where you spend your money on entertainment? How did you live up until now? If you spending $500 a month, what job did you have before that you're able to support your life? I get
Wow.
I get
Wow.
into their life like there's no tomorrow, bro. I
Right.
know their blood group. tight.
I never. This is something really new to me, like about their daily life and everything. That is some really good tip, which we can. I'm sure everyone can use to hire new VAs. Okay, now let's talk about experienced one. How much do you usually pay them, and do you have any sort of like bonus system for them?
Yeah. So if it's a brand new PA, I give them a flat salary that pays their bill and they're happy. If they show me that their expense is $200 a month, I would
Hmm.
offer them $200. If they show me their bare minimum expense that they have kids, once they have kids, I know that they're gonna stick with the work, but they need money, so I can't
Right.
be cheap on the money. Then
Yeah.
I'm losing focus. So if they have kids, that's why I assess them. What is their position, how much money they're making based on the information and how much they're willing to put in. Because I don't hire them based on, oh, you're gonna work from 8 hours this. I hire them based on whenever I ask you to work, you work.
Exactly, exactly. Something like you're sleeping and hey, I found this something. Get up, and that's one problem with me. I can't find these people. So yeah, I
Bro,
get it. These people you don't want to lose.
KJ, I have to be clear here. You have to build them. You're
Yeah.
never gonna find them. You have to literally build them. And the only way you're gonna be able to build them if you put the effort right away, hire somebody, and then start to giving them job one thing at a time, and then have them master that. Bro, you spend like $200 a month. You're teaching somebody, and they're taking one thing off your table every day, every 3 days. Let's say 2 tasks a week. In a month, 8 tasks off your hand. You never have to worry about that. Think about that. Every time you wanna, okay, so you're planning to launch campaign tomorrow, you could work on the angle, you could work on the ad copy, and you could just assign them, okay, take this lander, clean it, upload it, make the tracking link, post it right here. Here's the ad copy. Here is the targeting. Launch it. Save it as draft. Take the draft link so I could click auto login, take a look at it, hit launch, and it's boom, it's launched. So what would take me 2 hours to do now, because they know certain things that they could do, I focus on what I enjoy and then delegate all those other things to those VAs. And as they keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over, they become master at it. Then what I'll do, I'll teach them something new. Then I know, because look, right now, if I tell my VA, I need a lender right now with back button, I need a lender right now with back button, tab under, and the exit pump. All this script, clean everything, and make it for this geo. My job is done. I hit the record button in Telegram and I talk. This is what I need. Boom, I'm done. The
Right.
next day, everything is ready. The campaign launched, saved as draft. So you now it's already launched. Sometimes I have them going live, getting approved, and pause.
Right.
You have to pause it because when I get a chance, then I can take a look at if they launch 20 campaign. I could take a look at all 20 campaign, just the setting, and boom, hit 20 times now. In 1 hour, I just launched 20 campaign. Think about it.
Yeah.
You
Perfect.
have to be able to outperform any other affiliate, because if you're playing the game to compete, you're gonna lose your average. But when you go in the game in the mindset, if I'm gonna be running this, I am the one running this, and anybody who comes, I'm gonna destroy them. If that is not your mindset, then we have to work on the mindset.
Perfect. Perfect. So last question, you know, I remember when you showed me your training process and everything and resources you have, that was literally mind blowing. I can't even, I lost count. So
Yeah.
now tell me about this. Why did you build this? How did you build this? And then, like, do you constantly keep updating it and like even introduce those resources to your new VAs as well, or the old ones as well?
I'm getting goosebumps because you asked that question, because it's that important, because it has that significant in my life itself.
Right.
It's so important question. I'm so glad I'm getting goosebumps right now. Very excited. Man. But let me tell you why, though, right? So as I'm learning, remember I'm started learning paid traffic. Let's say I started learning 2015 maybe,
Mm-hmm.
like traffic like started learning. Then 2016, the whole year I started learning. Within that time, I had my VA. Remember, I'm paying them monthly, so I
Mm-hmm.
have them learn with me, right? So as I'm learning, I actually had as I'm learning, I'm figuring out these are the things, these are the problem I'm facing on a daily basis. This is the mindset I need to have, right?
Right.
I need to be disciplined every day and show up on time because I have personal problem with it. Or if I see a VA is not showing up on time, or if I find an issue, then I would go research that issue. Why people doesn't show up on time. Then I'll find the best resource on the video and I put there so anybody else come before or after me will I know that they're gonna face the same kind of problem. So if I can solve that problem up front and then have them go through the whole training on the mindset up front, so when I'm having a conversation with them, they already fucking know the deal. They
Right.
know the deal. You know what I mean?
Right.
They
Yeah.
go through the whole thing. When then they're talking to me, see, you want to have them go through that whole training the first month. So you're spending money, you're buying data at that time, you're buying data.
Right.
You have to do it that way. So give them to learn, then maybe second month, give them, or maybe 2 weeks, give them the mindset, and the other 2 weeks, give them a project.
Right.
Go research on dating, or go research on weight loss, right? Why people should care about weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
Go and right now it's a so broad topic, they're gonna go crazy. Give them something that's not easy. Give them something that they're gonna like. Give them something that is not easy. They're not gonna be able to fix it because if you give them something easy, they're gonna fix come back. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for somebody who you're giving something that they can fix it easily. So now they have to go figure it out, and you want to hire the people who's gonna put their effort in to figure out the process of figuring out and then bringing you the result. You are looking for those people. So whoever's gonna put in the work, get that thing done, bring it back with a good result, you'll be like, you know what, I like you. Let's work together.
Right. Right.
You know what I
Perfect.
mean? So you don't want to hire them. So you must have them go through the whole mindset. And if you want, like I said, if you hire somebody, you can use my Monday, whatnot. You know, like I could hook them up with the training and they could go through the whole. And once they see, I had some students there as well. I don't know if you saw that. I had some students there. I had a doctor, literally,
Mm-hmm.
actually, a real doctor. It's best, I can't believe it. But he's doing part-time
Right.
CPA. So um, they all left good messages. I don't know if you read all like
Mm-hmm. I did.
every
I did.
video they put in their input. And the reason I have them do it, because guess what? Anybody can watch a video. It's not gonna hurt. It's easy. What is gonna hurt is to analyze the video, then write the shit down, what they learned from the video, and teach me. That's
Yeah.
the job I
Yeah.
give them. I'll tell them, go watch this video, learn what you learned from the video, write them down, then come back and teach me what you learned from the video. Guess what? Now you turn the table around.
Yeah.
Now they're
Yeah.
teaching you what you wanted to tell them to do. Now they're telling you
Yeah.
how they want you to do, what you want them to do.
Interesting. Interesting.
So
Yeah.
that's the trick you gotta play. So
Right.
this way, they're like, okay, you're on point. You have all this training, you go through that. So yeah, there is a process. Is it worth it? Depending on your goal. If your goal is to have one VA, I mean, dude, for every single solo affiliate, I highly recommend to have at least one VA. That is
Mm-hmm.
gonna really help. As long as that affiliate is making money, if you're not hiring at least one VA to help you with things, I can't do this business, bro. I mean, I am
Yeah.
so lazy. I need people to feed me. Do you know? You want to know a funny story? You know Greg Davis?
Uh-huh.
So I went to his a CPA marketing event back in 2014, I think.
Right.
15. His nickname is 50K a day, basically. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I met him in tech, and then I went to his, and I drove for like 6 hours from New York to Washington, Maryland.
Right.
Nonetheless, man, when I went there, I learned that all these people are making money with black hats.
Uh-huh.
But guess what? My goal is I want to grow to a point that I don't have to worry about accounts shutting down and all that. So
Yeah.
I didn't change my process. Like I didn't want to go for the easy food. I don't want to go for the short term money. I wanted to actually I really enjoy doing this. You know what I mean? So I wanted to go full on, and I really wanted to get everything done. So yeah, nonetheless, yeah, that's that basically.
Right, perfect, perfect. Okay, so I think that's it now. It was like, longest interview I ever did with anyone. So that is like, information overload. That was some perfect stuff. So you don't know how much, valuable this stuff is. I mean, seriously, it is mind-boggling stuff. So yeah, thanks a lot.
KJ, I'll tell you this though. I'll tell you this that I'm not a public speaker by any means. You know what I mean? I never even get on a call in terms of like like a live call or I do videos or YouTube videos. I'm pretty much
Yeah,
introvert as well. Like
yeah,
just like you. I don't really get on. But you know what? If you got something out of it, because look, bro, I've been learning from you before, way before you even know. I've been learning from you like I don't even know how long. Like I remember KJ, and
wow,
you know how many I pretty much read all the blogs, and trust me, I've been following you for such a long time. When I saw you in Bangkok, I'm like, okay, that's KJ right there. I haven't met him. I'm gonna go introduce myself. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
I knew. So that's the thing. That's the good part about have a presence online. Like
yeah,
people would know you. For
yeah,
me though, the most part I played in the background.
yeah,
I had my VA kind of do the front end work, and I was in the back end pushing things. So I was never like the front man basically. I'm always in the back end, and I kind of enjoy it. I don't like to be on the videos and none of that. But it was all random questions, and it wasn't like all planned or it wasn't scripted. So anything, if it could help anybody, then man, that's great.
yeah, yeah. So first of all, the best thing is like to be visible. One thing is that it's all about helping each other, right? Like before you was on back end, I'm sure you may have some things which you need to cover too. You will come up with problems, or even like when you're coming on front, kind of you get to meet new people like personally because of all my presentations, my YouTube blog or whatever. I don't know if I would get all these exclusive access to offers or networks and all these relationships without being there. So yeah, I think you should
Trust me,
work on.
I I regret it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
regret not coming, not putting a present out there. I mean, my own presence out there, and try to market my own self. I mean, I'm working on creating this VAs, so my focus in there. But maybe someday
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
have some more videos and whatnot. But bro, thank you so much
No problem.
because you
No
have a
problem.
big effect, impact in my life, and we're both making
Thank
money
you.
together.
Thank you. Thanks.
And
Okay.
I'm glad
So
to hear
yeah,
that
I'm not letting you go yet. So let me know if someone wants to get in touch with you, how they can, contact you.
they can search me on Facebook. Basically, I don't
All
even have
right.
a website.
Okay. I'll put down your Facebook profile link on
So thank you so
under the
much. Yeah,
video. Yeah.
if anything I could do to help,
Uh,
anything, my door is open. Is because I know if I can help somebody just today, 5, 10 years from now, they could come back and help me out. Because I remember when I started, there are certain influence that I had in my life, like Evan Pagan. I had my mentors, like I had big mentors that I really enjoyed dealing with. So, man, I know that I didn't forget what I learned from them, even it's 10, 12 years past.
yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I still have the respect for them for giving me that education, that value. And I didn't have to pay them. I
Right.
just learned from them. I learned from you a lot
Thank
as
you.
well.
Thank you.
So I have, like, it's like you have to now pay back, and if you, as much as you could pay back, that feels great. Because
Yeah.
remember, if, because I know if somebody coming up now, if I could help them, when they come up, they're gonna remember that, hey, you
Yeah.
know what,
Yeah.
Faisal helped me. And I have some people like that. Like I have several students that actually went through my own personal coaching. I don't do that, by the way.
Hmm.
Very rarely, maybe once a year, one person. That's it. Because it doesn't make
Right.
sense to me. It
Yeah.
makes more sense to teach my own bills. so,
Right.
so that person actually now works in NGIT as a traffic guard.
Right.
Actually, he
Right.
got fired lately, but he worked there for like 6 months. Then he got fired. But yeah. But yeah, nonetheless, we'll catch up. KJ, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk again. Whenever we talk anyway all the time. So
No, thank you. Thank you for all your time and these knowledge bombs. I mean, this
for sure,
is some first-hand information. And, the fact is that you didn't hide anything or try to avoid anything. Like, I know,
man.
like, I can assure you guys this is 100% authentic information. And
Yes,
yeah,
thank
reach
you.
out, Faisal, on Facebook.
Before I go, the last thing I want to tell you, I get a kick by keeping it real. I don't get excitement by making things up. If it's not real, I don't feel the excitement. So yeah. Nonetheless, man, we'll catch up soon.
All right. Okay. It was really
Have a good
nice
one, bro.
talking to you, Faisal. And that's it, guys. Thank you very much. And see you soon. Bye bye.
All right, bye.